Thank you for clicking on the video. Today we are taking a look at the Burst, which has been a strange experience for me, at least on MetaQuest 3. I didn't get to try the PCVR version because the devs, I've been informed, who could be ex-Joyway, and make of that what you will, didn't give me access to the PC build in time for today's hand-on impressions. But I think I understand enough about the game to tell you the gameplay loop and some of the graphical issues I've come across, at least on Quest, which might not exist on the PCVR version. For starters, the graphical art style might be something not many people get on with. Certain parts of the game look like cardboard cutouts, and without spoiling the story, there's a part of the game where you're launched from a space station to a planet's surface and it looks incredibly cheap. The fire, for example, to show your capsule is re-entering a planet's atmosphere, simply looks like a flat image on the outside of the ship, and it looks really cheap. There's tons of pop-in and random objects just float in the world, and the entire game looks a little orange, brown and dull. I believe this is a choice, of course, at least from the 3 hours I've played, but I was really craving to at least see some blue skies like you did right at the beginning of the game. The gameplay is a lot of running and gunning combined with sections of driving with some minor switch finding and a tiny bit of puzzle solving. There is a story, but damned if I could ever figure it out. And I really did try to get on board. There's tapes spread around the world that you have to listen to, and from what I can gather, one race used a nuke to wipe out pretty much all life on the planet's surface, and you're a hired gun sent to kill the poor angry people on the surface, while the others who sent you live on space bridges. That's literally all I could gather from the game. I could be very wrong, but that's how it feels to me at the moment. Now this is where things get rocky for the first impressions. The guns feel good, but there's also a cheapness to the weapon handling. You can two-hand some guns, I believe, and some you can't. Changing mags while moving is unpredictable, and the ammo inventory is not badly positioned when you're standing up in front of your waist, but if you go sliding down the sides of buildings and sand dunes, the ammo pouch literally floats up to the center of the screen, and it looks nothing short of terrible. The gun variety is nice though. You get an assault rifle, a pistol with infinite ammo but does a little bit less damage than the other guns you find, a single-handed shotgun and a sniper rifle. I actually liked all of them, but there's also a clumsiness to the entire experience, and I definitely feel there's a lack of polish. The hook shots that come out of your knuckles, kind of like Wolverine, is definitely the main selling feature of the game, and when the game wants them to work, it is a very cool feature. But what I found was eventually I was having to overuse them. Gone is the simple grab ammo gravity mechanic most of us are now used to since Half-Life Alyx, for example, where you just open your hand, pull the grip button and pull something towards you. Instead, you have to slingshot every single bit of ammo you find or physically grab it, which slows the game's flow right down in some action scenarios, and there's some really odd decisions going further too. Opening boxes are a pain to break on the floor. You can't punch them, you can't break them with your gun in your hand either, and you have to karate chop all of them or shoot them. The grenades, when you grab them, most of the time blow up in your hand, and the throwing mechanic is terrible. Now, after all that being said, I still found myself enjoying it, which is a very strange feeling. Normally, all these issues would easily put me off, but there is excellent music, and the voice acting, at least of the characters you embody, are good. And it has like a Mad Max feeling to it, which I personally really enjoyed. When everything works, which to be clear is rare, you can see a game oozing with potential, but then you'll fight a boss who clips around the world or slides while standing up, and say you go to grab a pile of steel to pull down on some enemies, you hear them fall but they simply vanish in midair. This build I'm doing my first impressions on is the release build, and as of right now, this game is simply not ready. In fact, it's far from ready. I'm hoping the PC version fares better, but as we know, Quest is where the sales are. So if this is anything to go by, it's simply not good. If you want my thoughts on whether you should buy this game, I would say go in knowing this is like an experimental early access game. It's definitely got some good stuff, but there's a lot of jank, and there's a lot of things missing, and a lot of playtesting that clearly hasn't been done. If it has been done, it's been done internally, and that normally means that people just agree everything's fine, and it clearly isn't. There's even missing animations, even right at the beginning of the opening tutorial when you get your first weapon, and I just think things like that are unforgivable. So yeah, there it is. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments if you're going to pick this up. It comes out in 2 days, and I'll see you all in the next one.